Well, perfect. Ashley, thanks for jumping on. We're excited to run through the products. Appreciate you taking a minute so that we can hear some feedback from a team that's been using Nectar for the last little bit. But I guess as we get started, and as I pull up the platform on my end, would love to know about a year ago when you started researching this, why were you looking for a recognition program?
Yeah, so at our company, we recognize that there is a bit of a gap between our company values and how it was spoken between our employees and leadership. And we wanted to mitigate that gap between leadership and our employees. So I actually Google searched company recognition programs that highlight company values. And Nectar was one of a handful of programs that popped up.
Oh, interesting. So you just did the search. Did you look at a few different programs, or did you just land on Nectar and went with it?
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with Bonusly was one of the conversations that I had. I had another conversation. I actually can't remember the software that I connected with, but Nectar was the program that had, through the initial search, had the quickest turnaround with communication.
Oh, fantastic. And when you think about why, like when you initially did the search, was it to improve the culture? Was it because of the pandemic?
Yeah, for us, it was really for the engagement in the team. We are a fully remote company and have been since we've launched. And we recognize that our engagement wasn't company-wide, it was essentially regional-wide. And we wanted to highlight the cross-regional communication as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And the longer I work at Nectar, the more I realize that engagement is a really big, broad term, right? Is it engagement surveys? Is it catered lunches, right? But for Nectar and within the scope of how we look at recognition, an engaged employee is somebody that loves their coworkers, right? They feel connected to the people that they work with, and they also feel connected to their organization. So I'm glad that you're able to see that the core value focus, and I'm interested to get more details around that. But for us, if an employee is connected to their coworkers and they're connected to the mission and the values of the company, that's an engaged employee. And that's how remote teams are really moving the needle when it comes to culture today. And so to support that, really our bread and butter here at Nectar, where we put most of our focus, is what we call peer-to-peer recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So we have what we call allowances, and you're able to invest in your employees every single month in the form of points. And then with those points, they're able to recognize each other. So how many points is up to you? That's why I bring this up. But you can see on the home page, now I have a certain number of points to give away, allotted to me by the company. And then with those points, we have a dedicated social feed for all these interactions that will happen between your employees. Right? From a high level, Nectar is really a social, dedicated place for employees to be able to say thank you to their coworkers based on core values. So I see Gina do something great. I add a certain number of points from the bank that's been allotted to me, and then I always have to attach it to a core value, right? I'm actually going to get an error message if I don't attach it. So you're operationalizing these, getting your employees to think about these core values, and for me personally, where I see the most successful clients having a lot of success is by creating this level of ownership for their employees. When you do a good job of creating core values that people can attach to, they feel like their work is more meaningful. And that's why I think this has been successful, especially in the last couple of years. But I wanted to show just a few examples from the social feed. Right? By design, people can add on to it. Right? If I was involved in this shout out, I can like it, I can comment, I can add points to it. And actually, I guess it would be a good question for you is how have you seen the social component play an impact in engagement?
Yeah, I mean, ever since we launched Nectar, we have actually seen our social engagement between team members nationwide. I would even feel safe to say double. There has been a deeper connection between especially like our West Coast and East Coast team members. Oftentimes for a remote team like ourselves, our team members felt as if their situations were significant to them. And we were able to see that through the utilization of the app and the recognition of the values, it has really bridged the gap between the commonalities between what's going on in field for the teams.
Yeah, it's the environment has changed. It sounds like you've always done remote, so maybe it wasn't as new to you, but the vast majority of people that are coming in and
Yeah.
talking to Nectar, they're having to think differently and more strategically about keeping their employees connected. So I'm glad it's been able to support you there. And just to reiterate, peer-to-peer is the absolute best and easiest way to get your employees feeling connected. You can run Nectar as a manager top-down system. However, there's something to be said about you investing in all of your employees, making this a priority. And that's how we get our clients to get 90 to 95% of their employees engaged every single month, month over month, year over year. And there's lots of different notifications built into Nectar, right? When I get a recognition, I'm going to get a notification. I get a reminder when I'm getting new points to give away as well, which keeps this top of mind, right? Because there's a lot of different things. However, just it's super important that you invest in your employees. Give them the peer-to-peer budgets, let it be their system, they run it, and then they're going to absolutely love it. And really the second big part of it to get people motivated to use it is what we call points to redeem. So once I've actually earned the points, right, once they've been sent through the shout out, they go into my points to redeem bank. These ones do not expire. And then I've got a bunch of different options that I can choose from. We've got your really simple gift cards. You can see you've got a drop-down menu. This is international. We're based out of the US, but we have employees in, I think, 40 to 50 countries, which is fantastic, right? Most people are headquartered somewhere, but they've got a few employees everywhere. We want to make sure that we can accommodate. So the gift cards are really simple, just a few clicks to be able to convert my Nectar points into, let's say, an Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
We also give a lot of autonomy to our employees, or at least our clients, excuse me, to be able to add their own reward options when they want to, whether it's a PTO day, a department pizza party, a lunch with a specific manager. You decide how many points. And so for our clients that are already doing something and want to incorporate that into Nectar, we take the approach of let's just have Nectar be the place that will create awareness for anything that you want to do. And Ashley, do you have custom awards? You guys doing just gift cards?
We have a handful of customer rewards. We actually have highlighted a lot of the awards that are particular to our field. We do a lot, like I said, field sales. So we do a lot of car maintenance based awards, like car washes, extra gas money, things of that nature.
I love that. I love that. Everyone appreciates a little extra gas money.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just some examples in here. And the great part about Nectar is if you create an account, it's going to come pre-stocked with a lot of the options that we see among our clients. We've got company swag. This is a huge win for our clients. This is a huge point of focus for Nectar. I think it's something that we do really well and it works internationally. We actually help you build out a store. And it's going to be your logo, obviously, but imagine you have a catalog of items that you want to put your logo onto. And why people get really excited about it is everything is done on demand. So I run into teams every single day that are basically e-commerce stores. They have to purchase the swag, they have to design the swag, they have to get it out to remote locations. So for you with employees on the East Coast and the West Coast, it honestly can become a full-time job. So we just invite all of our prospects to say, hey, if you have any headaches with swag, or if this has been an initiative and you haven't been able to figure it out, use our partners. It's going to be a swag store that lives inside of Nectar. So if I want to get this branded item, Nectar doesn't have this in a storage closet waiting around. I put in my home address, I choose the size and color, and it'll arrive at my doorstep. And then obviously everything here in this rewards category is tracked meticulously. We know exactly who redeemed what and when. So again, just to reiterate, this does have an international component, right? We've got employees all over the world that can receive branded items without any headache for the teams that are managing this. And by popular demand, we've actually ended up adding an Amazon store in here as well. We had a lot of different clients that said, hey, we'd love for people to be able to just get the physical item directly instead of going through a gift card first.
Yeah.
So we just went to Amazon directly. And we've got all these different options people can choose and get shipped to them. So the same flow. And Nectar's just trying to make the most robust suite ever. We know that if the reward options are compelling for the employee, they're going to use this even more often. And that's what all of us want. So Ashley, anything you add up to this point based on your user experience?
I mean, for our team, the swag option has been a significant game changer with our employees of what they have at their hands, and also for my job responsibilities, because that was something that I did in my day-to-day. And how freeing has it been for not only myself, but the team members to have also that option of choice as well. So they're able to go on there and get a crazy colored beanie if they want with our team logo on it, or a polo or a tank top because it's summer. The swag shop has really shift the needle for the company.
Good. That makes me happy because it just makes sense, right?
Yes.
Let the employees choose. And if it doesn't add any headache to the team that has to manage this, that's where we're in really the big win area. And I always like to take a pause here, right? When I'm showing the platform, because this is the core end user experience. If I am just a normal employee at a company that uses Nectar, it's pretty much all I need to know how to do. How do I recognize my teammates based on core values? How do I spend my points when I've earned them? Now there's a few other things that can be included in the platform, but this is where we're going to put 90% of our focus. Most of our clients have dates that they want to celebrate that they can't afford to miss. So whether it's a birthday or hitting 1, 5, 10 years at the company, you can celebrate those in Nectar. Right? You just decide how many points do we want the individual to receive. When they hit 1, 5, 10 years or on their birthday, standardize it and say everyone gets $25. Because in Nectar, every 10 points is $1. Just choose it that way. We can integrate with a whole slew of HR systems, right? Use ADP, use Bamboo HR, use Namely. We can sync with those systems so that you don't have to do a manual upload. If you use a less common HR system, not a problem. We have ways for you to just drag and drop all of your users into Nectar, and that way your employee information is up to date. And Nectar is designed to run in the background for the vast majority of our clients. And Ashley, maybe you can speak to this. You set up your account initially. You decide how many points the managers and the employees are going to get, and then the reward options deliver straight to the employees. So, like from a day-to-day standpoint, is there any management that you have to do?
I mean, not really. The team actually is very much so invested in the software. So I oversee some of what they're looking to do. So maybe create a challenge. They'll reach out to me to create a challenge for the new quarter. But as a whole, I am pretty hands-off program, which has been very significant in my day-to-day overseeing whole people and culture operations for a company.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the challenges. This is a unique section. We find more and more of our clients are wanting to push specific business initiatives, whether it's wellness, whether it's engagement surveys or specific trainings. And if it ever feels like pulling teeth to get people to do those actions, you can create them as a challenge inside of Nectar. I love the steps challenge. This is probably the most common challenge that I see day to day. We want our employees to be active. We want them getting up from their computer, right? People are burning out at home. If you can prove to us that you walk 10,000 steps by sending us a picture of your Apple Watch or your Fitbit, your Garmin, let us know about it. We will give you points inside of Nectar. And the great part is all the points are universal. So whether I got them from a shout out from my manager, from a peer, completed a challenge, had a birthday, they all go to the same reward options. And you can have people prove it, or you can do it by the honor system, right? Just let us know and you can earn points. But again, really centered around wellness, trainings, right? You take this learning and development course and you finish it by February 1st, we will give you points. So it's a great way to invest in your employees. And I think this is something you've used quite a bit, Ashley. So I'd love to get your feedback here, how you use it.
Yeah, so one of our mission statements, piece of our mission statement at our company is we want our company to be a place where people develop themselves career-wise and personally. And so through that, we have utilized the challenges option for the personal development tool. So learning and development of online courses, finishing a book in our Audible account, volunteering, for donation options, all of that, we have utilized the challenges for people to not only invest in themselves, but their community as well. And it's been very fulfilling for the whole team to really get recognized for the things that they're doing, and it inspires others as well. It's really had a great trickle effect.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever somebody completes a challenge, you can have it auto post to the social feed. I think it's very momentum driven, right? I see all of my coworkers getting recognized more frequently, both by other employees and by their managers. I can see what challenges they're completing, who's getting up from their computer, who's joining the social committees. And I think personally, as an end user myself, being able to celebrate small and big wins is important to today's workforce.
Exactly.
You can also define core values on the homepage, right? It's maybe be different, mean something really specific to Nectar. Let's put it here so that employees know what that is. There's just a couple more things that I want to touch on. Number one is the manager experience. We believe that if managers are accountable and they have autonomy, they're going to reach out to their employees, to their direct reports as often as possible. And so just one little nuance here, but is a big deal to our clients, is my team. Based on how you either upload the spreadsheet or how we integrate with the HR system, we're going to know who reports to who. And so we can say, hey, you personally have not recognized this team member in this many months. And this month to date, you've recognized 0% of your team. So we're actually sending a weekly email. I want to pull it up because I think it's a big deal. Managers get a weekly a weekly email that will tell them what percentage of the team that they've personally recognized, how much total activity is happening, any birthdays or work anniversaries that are happening that week for their team members as well. So we drive a lot of accountability to the managers so they know exactly who to recognize, which again saves our teams a ton of time. The last thing I want our HR teams typically that are managing this to do is be worrying about people using it, right? That's Nectar's job. That's all we care about. Get people in here as often as possible, celebrating. And the last thing that I want to touch is just the analytics inside of the platform. This is very focused around the organizational health. How many total shout outs are happening? What insights can we get about your core values? Why is this one more popular in the month of October, and why has it decreased as it's gone through the end of the year?
Yes.
I want to see what percentage of the marketing team has been recognized in February. Well, now I've got visibility to it. And then my personal favorite part, let's see how much the sales department recognizes the marketing department. Let's see how connected the sales team is as an organization. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with this. Ashley, is this something that you pop into occasionally just to kind of check the pulse?
Yes, actually, specifically what we have been using often is really honing in on, do all of our team members truly understand our values? And the analytics have really highlighted that, in where some values may be used more than the others. And so we utilize that information to really examine how we're communicating it with our team. And maybe we need to change the language, define it more.
Good. You're thinking about it the right way. Sometimes people will get really caught up in what's the number of shout outs. But at the end of the day, like I defined initially, an engaged employee is connected to their coworkers and they feel attached to the mission and the values of the organization. That's always where the focus should be. Do people feel like they have meaningful work and coworkers that they love? And it sounds like that's been your focus. So that's probably why you're doing so well on the platform. Few things. This is the core of the product, right? I'm sure there's some nuts and bolts that we missed. But once it makes sense for our clients in this scenario, right? They want it to be social. They want it to happen often. They need reward options built in. They can't miss the birthdays and work anniversaries. They want challenges. We just need to get this in all the right places. So the first is Slack. We have a Slack integration that's really simple. You can create a Nectar recognition channel. Anything you post in Slack will show up on the website and the mobile app. And we also integrate with Microsoft Teams as well. So if you want the actual Nectar platform to live inside of Teams, happy to go through those. We're going to include a link at the end of this to schedule a one-on-one if you've got more questions or want to see some of the reports that we can pull. But I saw you nodding, Ashley. We'd love to get your feedback there. Do you use Slack or Teams?
Yeah, we use Slack with our company, and the integration it's been great. It's been phenomenal because that's how our team communicates anyway for our sales. And just to allow that channel where it gives that option where the team doesn't have to go into the app. They can actually just communicate via Slack, and they're already using it anyway. So it's easy, accessible, and everyone can see what's going on. without going in the app or their desktop as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that conversation every day with different teams is if you want to launch out Nectar and say, hey, guess what? 95% of Nectar can be done through the systems that you're already using. People don't get that anxiety of, oh, it's another system, it's another thing. I want to pull up a screenshot of Microsoft Teams. I know a lot of people use Teams.
Okay.
And Teams is the actual Nectar platform living in here. So everything that I've showed you up to this point, from the social feed to the sidebar, all can be in Teams. There is a mobile app as well. We're going to get this in all of the right places so that your employees can get all the reminders that they need. But that's pretty much it. Anything else, Ashley, that you would add just as your word of advice as someone that's used Nectar for a while, what you hate about it, what you love about it?
The biggest thing is, for myself, it is allowed for a lot of the team to operate in an autonomous manner. A lot of the leaders of the company have really taken a step forward and really have been like, hey, I want to create this challenge and oversee it. Or, hey, can we give points for this? It has been really, the amount of engagement has been phenomenal and has really given the team members that opportunity to think more inclusively and more outside the box for what they're going to do, rather as before it was pretty like standard, we'll give a gift card for this, we'll give a polo for that, we'll fill in blank, and it is really broadened the spectrum for everything in the team.
Fantastic. No, I appreciate the insight. Love to see everyone being bought in, because that's our most successful clients, right? It's always getting pushed from the top down. I would be remiss not to talk about the pricing, because I'm sure a million people will have questions about this. It's simple. We don't do contracts. We don't have implementation fees. So we're just going to decide on a per user price. In the plus category, it includes some additional things like the HR integrations, like we talked about, using our swag providers, the Amazon store. You want the challenges? That's all part of the plus. A lot of our clients can get away with the standard category and they upgrade because this has a lot of the core features, managers getting additional budgets, the Slack and Teams integrations, but we'll include a link to this as well so that everyone can check it out. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for two parts of your budget. One is the software cost, and the second is the number of points that are redeemed. So when somebody actually selects the gift card, that's when you're billed as a company. And yeah, any additional questions, would love to go offline and answer them for anybody that has questions. But Ashley, thank you for jumping on. We appreciate your feedback. Let us know if you have any questions on your end. But if not, we'll wrap it up.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. Bye.
Bye.